On June 9th, the 356-meter-tall SEG Plaza swayed again. Some netizens who worked in the upper floors said that the swaying was especially powerful.
因为整栋大厦摇晃得特别的厉害，我们就不得不赶紧的疏散走到1楼。
On June 14th, Shenzhen officials released news that the subsidence, tilt rate, and acceleration results of SEG Plaza are all normal. But the reality might not be so simple. At the request of many netizens, a few brave netizens who lived in Shenzhen recently took the risk of filming on-site in order to satisfy the people's curiosity. On June 13th, some netizens went into SEG Plaza in the rain to take pictures, and found the electronics market to be open for business. On June 11th, videos taken by netizens show some merchants in the SEG Plaza electronics market was ready to open, with the ground scattered with garbage. At night, almost no rooms had their lights on. A video taken by netizens around noon of June 10th showed that SEG Plaza has been reopened, and cars were going in and out of the underground parking lot. But guardrails were still in place around parts of the building. When discovered, security came to stop the filming. But the netizen eventually made it into the interior of the building, into SEG Electronics Market, and found that there are already many merchants open, but many stalls are still empty, and the market had very few people. Earlier, the column's outer layers were peeled away when professionals were monitoring the reinforcement steel within, and the columns have yet to be repaired. On June 9th at 2 p.m., a netizen working in SEG Plaza suddenly found the water jug by the fountain to be shaking, then heard building management say that the building had shook slightly. So they took the stairs and descended more than 40 floors in order to evacuate. The announcement said that slight shaking occurred, but the netizen said the shaking was really strong. The 356-meter-tall SEG Plaza went viral around the world for its violent shaking on May 18th. Since then, professionals have continuously monitored the building, and the authorities have been releasing monitoring data every day. Of course, the data always reflected the building to be fine and within the normal ranges as required by the code. It can pretty much be expected that if the building does not collapse, then the monitoring data will always return normal. Afterwards, the building shook a few more times, as if it's not so willing to obey the instructions of the authorities. After the closure of SEG Plaza on May 21st, very little news was released, and mainland media only reiterated the results of the daily building monitoring released by the authorities. However, people's curiosity wouldn't go away just because the media doesn't report on it. Many netizens still wanted to know the current situation of the building. On May 31st, the authorities said that a forced vibration test will be done on June 1st, but has it been done and what were the results? Have the experts analyzed the specific causes of the shaking yet? What kind of measures were taken to deal with the building during its closure? These questions remain unanswered as the officials choose to stay silent. But in any case, SEG Plaza has finally reopened. Some netizens said that on June 4th, although the offices were opened, only a handful of people dared to go in and work. And on June 4th, the forced vibration test was still not conducted. As for what measures have been taken for SEG Plaza, although no official news has been revealed, some netizens have found clues. On June 8th, video filmed by a netizen shows that SEG Plaza has a crane on top of the building, and the building's antenna have 2 additional cables, although what exactly has been done is not known. In addition, the pillars on the first floor of the building surprisingly had an 8 trigrams mirror installed upon it. However, the mirror later disappeared. The mirror, known as the Bagua mirror, is a lucky object in Chinese Feng Shui, and is divided into 3 types. Convex mirrors can suppress and dissolve the field that can bring bad influences to the building. Concave mirrors can absorb wealth and lucky fortune. And flat mirrors plays a reflective role. We can see that the convex mirror was used in SEG Plaza. Legend has it that Bagua was first created by Fuxi about 7,000 years ago, using the 8 trigrams and its different combinations to describe the changing laws of nature and human society. In China, the application of Bagua mirrors have been documented for 1,700 years. The shaking of SEG Plaza on June 9th is a testament to the building's stubbornness, refusing to cooperate with government leaders, experts, and even Feng Shui masters' orders. The final verdict as to the cause of the shaking and its countermeasures are still unknown. The Chinese Communist Party's propaganda system is like this. The more you want to know the truth, the more it tries to hide it, or simply distort the facts and openly lie about it. The COVID-19 pandemic that started at the end of 2019, the human rights situation in Xinjiang, Tibet, and Inner Mongolia, and the June 4th incident of 1989 were all handled the same way. It's interesting to see how the CCP has traditionally suppressed Feng Shui, which is a part of Chinese traditional culture, as a feudal superstition. According to the official media, party members and cadres who superstitiously believe in Feng Shui are indifferent to the disciplines of the Communist Party and betray the party's character. The Chinese Communist Party propaganda advocates science and rejects superstition. Yet this time they tried to use a Bagua mirror, a classic Feng Shui item, to dispel the evil from the building. Do the leaders of the CCP believe more in science or in Feng Shui? According to Radio Free Asia, the Public Security Department of Shanxi Province launched a special operation to protect the ancestral veins of the Qinling Mountains from April 1st this year. And on April 20th, a special video meeting was held to remobilize and redeploy the special operation. The move has sparked public debate, with many questioning whose ancestral roots are at the Qinling Mountains. Mr. He, a legal professional, believes that the Qinling Mountains are the dragon veins of Xi Jinping's family. Last year, the official media, Xinhua News Agency, preached that Qinling Mountains are the dragon veins of the Chinese nation, which was a move to please Xi Jinping. The so-called Protect the Ancestral Roots operation by Shanxi officials is also a high-profile show of loyalty to Xi. Mr. Hong, a veteran media figure, told Radio Free Asia that Xi Jinping personally gave instructions 6 times to demolish villas in the Qinling Mountains from 2014 to 2018, but failed to remove the villas that damaged the dragon veins. This later led to the investigation and punishment of dozens of officials, including Zhao Zhengyong, then secretary of the Shanxi Provincial Party Committee. Since then, local officials have not only stopped all civil engineering works in the Qinling Mountains, but have even expelled a large number of people living there, not daring to let anyone touch the dragon veins. Jiang Zemin, former leader of the CCP, never went to the city of Zhenjiang because his surname is Jiang, and the words Zhenjiang means to suppress Jiang, so he was afraid to go there in fear of being suppressed. The construction of the Yangtze River Bridge connecting Zhenjiang and Yangzhou began in 2000. At the time, the official of the construction company, China Railway, suggested that the bridge be named Zhenjiang Yangtze River Bridge, but later heard that Jiang Zemin really hated the word Zhenjiang, so it was renamed Zhenyang Bridge instead. However, when Jiang Zemin heard Zhenyang, he immediately got angry, and that's because Jiang Zemin is from Yangzhou, and Zhenyang means to suppress Yangzhou. Later, someone remembered that the historic name of Zhenjiang is Rinzhou, so the bridge was renamed into Rinyang Bridge, meaning Blessing Yangzhou Bridge. It was only then that Jiang Zemin was satisfied. Mao Zedong, the former party leader of the CCP, was very knowledgeable about history and the art of empire. But for nearly 30 years, from the time Mao entered Beijing in 1949 until his death in 1976, Mao never set foot into the Forbidden City, which was the imperial palace of the Ming and Qing dynasties. Funny enough, Mao lived in Zhongnanhai, which was adjacent to the Forbidden City. Before Mao entered Beijing, a Taoist priest had warned him that his fate was in conflict with the emperors of the past generations, and that the Forbidden City was heavy with kingly energy, and that he could not enter the place. Of course, Mao's philosophy of fighting and struggle and the imperial way of preaching benevolence and righteousness were mortal enemies. It is an open secret that officials at all levels of the CCP who claim to be atheism and Marxism are actually superstitious about Feng Shui. A report by Caixin Weekly once revealed a story about Sun Zhengcai, former secretary of the Chongqing Municipal Committee, and worshipping the dragon robe. Sun was once a political star in the CCP's official circles, and many people once regarded him as Xi Jinping's successor candidate. Sun's mistress Liu Fengzhou once took Sun's birth date to a Taoist fortune teller and found out that he was not only destined to be a top official, but also rise to the next level in his career. So she ordered a set of dragon robes for Sun Zhengcai. In China, the dragon robe is a symbol of the emperor, representing supreme authority. According to Feng Shui, the dragon robe can dissolve troubles and increase luck in your career. Therefore, Sun inscribed his 8 characters onto the dragon robe, which Sun worshipped and burned incense for every day, praying to be the highest power holder. Xi Jinping was said to have been furious upon hearing the news. On July 15, 2017, Sun Zhengcai was removed from his post as secretary of the Chongqing Municipal Committee, and 10 days later, the official media confirmed that he was suspected of serious violations and that the Central Commission for Discipline Inspection had opened a case against him. A large percentage of CCP officials truly believe in Feng Shui and in the existence of supernatural powers which they hope to borrow to ensure the longevity of their status and wealth. But they often do not get what they want. As officials and leaders, they should always be considering the people's livelihood problems, such as unaffordable food, schooling, and housing, and make these their top priority. Doing good for the people should bring more luck to them than Feng Shui. SEG Plaza, which was once hailed to have Shenzhen speed of building a floor in 2.7 days, was also a landmark skyscraper designed and built by Chinese enterprises. It is a symbol of China's rapid economic rise and the speed of Chinese construction, as well as a representation of the Chinese model. Could the constant shaking of SEG Plaza be a sign that the Chinese model is faltering?